All right, everybody. For the last reminder before we get started, there is a sign-in link in the chat, so do be sure to sign in and let us know that you were here. Keep your microphones muted throughout the presentation. And now I will go ahead and pass it over to my colleague Krithika, who's going to walk you all through career fair preparation.
Thanks, Allison. Hopefully everyone can hear me and see my screen okay. Just if someone could unmute and let me know if you can hear me and see me, that'd be great because all I can see is my screen, so I can't see the chat.
Yes, we can, Krithika.
Perfect. And then Allison, if any questions come in the chat or if anyone raises their hand, do let me know just because I cannot see it. But welcome everyone and welcome to Future Focus Fridays. So we're going to be talking about understanding the Career Exploration Fair today that's being hosted by Kent State University's Career Exploration and Development. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, thank you for your patience and welcome to this workshop. So my name is Krithika Graw, and I'm a Senior Career Advisor with Career Exploration and Development at Kent State. And for the next 30 minutes, we will be in this room reviewing what you need to know about the Career Exploration Fair that's scheduled for September 23rd. And after that, you will have the opportunity to ask questions because we're going to open it up to a Q&A session. Before we jump into the content, I'd like to set a few expectations for this presentation. Many of you are familiar with these types of virtual experiences now that we've been living in this slightly weird and unique world for a few months now. But what I would like to set up in terms of expectations is that we are recording, that we'd like you to mute your microphone unless you're the person who's speaking, to please raise your hand if you have a question or put it in the chat. And where possible, try to hold your questions till the end because it is likely that we would be covering that question anyway with our content in the next few slides. But again, by no means are we asking you not to ask questions. Do ask them, but also, where possible, hold them till the end. So again, let us get started. So here's our agenda for today. First, I'd like to start by just checking in on how everyone is doing. We've had a rough few months and everyone's in different places. So I'd like to just check in, see how you're doing. And then we're going to jump into the content, looking at what Career Exploration Fair is, how to prepare, participate, and be successful in the event. And we will take about 30 minutes to go through steps 1 through 5, and the rest of the time will be dedicated to answering the questions that you might have. So on a scale of 1 through 5, with 1 being that you are absolutely thriving, and then 5 being that you're not doing so hot, just feel free to unmute yourself and just let us know where you find yourself during these times. Just shout out on a scale of 1 through 5. Don't be shy.
In the chat, again, if you were... we've got lots of 3s coming in, so lots of middle road. I'd possibly categorize myself as that as well, but Angelica, Brandon, Clarissa, Hannah, Remy, and Wyatt, 3s across the board. How about any others?
3s across the board. So on the scale of 1 through 5, I would say 1 is like I'm thriving, I'm so productive, focused, and enthusiastic, so things are going great. A 2 is that you're staying positive. We're in this together, but some days are kind of tough. The 3 is you're starting to get sick of this. Where's the light at the end of the tunnel? 4 is that things are looking kind of terrible right now. This is so hard. And 5 is, I don't even know, like I can't even process emotions right now. So keeping these in mind, do you change your answer from that 3, or do you still find yourself in that kind of middle of the path place? And again, Allison, if anything comes into the chat,
we're getting some more diversity. Yeah, we're getting some more, and they're a little more diverse, which is good. We're getting some low numbers, which is good. We've got some 1s, quite a few more 2s now, but then a couple 4s as well.
Okay. Well, wherever you are on the spectrum, just know that it's okay. And it's totally valid to feel the way that you're feeling. We're all doing the best we can, and we're all in different stages right now of adapting to just the madness in our world. So wherever you are, just thank you for sharing with us and for being vulnerable. And overall, it seems like the group is doing okay, but then some of you are, just, facing more challenges, and just know that it's okay, and remind yourself that you need to be gentle on yourself during these times. And if it means staying in bed one day, stay in bed. That's okay. So thank you again for sharing. So the good news is that you're here today and you're willing to share, and you're looking to what's coming up next, and you're ready to do that homework, right? And the good news also is that there are employers out there who are looking to hire, and there are graduate schools offering great programs. So not all is lost in the world right now. So I do want to share that we currently have over 100 employers registered. I believe there were like 109, if I'm remembering correctly, from earlier this morning, unless that's changed. And these employers are waiting to connect with you. So let's just jump right into today's topic. Today we will be covering the Career Exploration Fair. The Career Exploration Fair is a synchronous virtual career fair that's taking place through Handshake. This event gives you the opportunity to connect with employers as well as graduate schools, if that's what you're looking to do next in your career, and learn about their open positions to get your career started. It's taking place on Wednesday, September 23rd from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And the Career Exploration Fair is an opportunity to connect with graduate schools and employers regarding their opportunities for programs, internships, full-time positions, part-time positions as well. And the day will include a series of one-on-one as well as group video sessions in which you will have the opportunity to speak directly with recruiters and representatives from grad programs about the possibilities and opportunities at their organizations. And the best way to be successful at any career fair, whether it's in person or online, is to prepare ahead of time. And guess what? Step accomplished. You're already here, which shows that you're doing what you can to prepare. So thank you for being here. So let's talk about how you can prepare. The first and most important step in preparing for the fair is to update your Handshake profile. This step is absolutely essential in being able to access all opportunities available to you through the fair. So you want to get your profile completion bar to be as close as 100% as possible. So if you see in my screenshot, you'll see it says your profile is 100% complete. So you want to check in on where you are with your Handshake profile and see whether that bar is completely at 100%. If not, there's work to do, and you've got a few days to get to that 100% level of completedness. So you do want to get there as much as possible. What I would also like to do after I go through these slides is very briefly pull up Handshake and show you where all of these sections are, so that when you go in to update your profile, you know what to click on and where to go and how to navigate. Your picture should be a professional looking picture. So the headshot you get, we recommend that you should be wearing something professional in terms of just at least waist up, and taking a shot of your face where it's well lit and your background is a neutral background. You shouldn't have anyone else in that photo with you. It should be just you. And thereafter, you want to focus on your headline. Your headline is your summary or your tagline. So include a short statement of who you are, what you're looking for, and a little bit about your personality, something that makes you stand out. Your education information is automatically uploaded by your school, but make sure it's accurate and that it reflects the most current information, especially if you've changed your major or added a minor or anything like that. Just make sure that your profile does reflect what you want employers and graduate programs to see. It's also extremely important to add your graduation month and year. These are not automatically pulled into Handshake, so not having this field complete will definitely impact your ability to participate in the fair. So double check and make sure that your graduation year is listed. And then work and volunteer experiences can be pulled directly from your resume, or you can type it in again. It's up to you. Just make sure that it's recent and relevant to what you're looking for. I want to take a moment now to dive into the interests on your profile. So when you go into Handshake to update your interests section, you do want to really pay attention to this, because these were initially set up when you created your Handshake profile, which might have been yesterday, it might have been today, it might have been months ago, or a few years ago at this point. So you probably want to go in and update these interests. These can make a big difference in your search and the opportunities that you're looking to participate in during the Career Exploration Fair. So please take the time to make sure they're accurate, specifically job type you're looking for, the locations, and the roles, as you can see highlighted on the slide here. These three are really important, so do pay attention to them. In relation to updating your profile, and this is extremely important in your ability to participate in the Career Exploration Fair, you will need to set your privacy to community. This will allow you to participate in both one-on-one sessions as well as group interview sessions on the day of the event. So if your privacy is set to just private, just know that employers are not going to be able to find you. So you do want to change that to community. As you see in the picture here, you can do that by going to your settings and privacy under your profile icon and then selecting community. And then again, as a reminder, when I demo Handshake with you very briefly and show you where these things are, you'll see how easy it is to quickly change your settings to community. In addition to updating your profile, it's important to ensure that your resume is up to date and uploaded on your Handshake profile. Your resume should be clear, meaning that it's easily readable in about 10 to 30 seconds, with the most important information occurring on the top half of the page. So it should be above the fold. It should be concise, highlighting the most recent and relevant work and volunteer experiences relating to the positions you're applying for, and it should be consistent, meaning that your design elements are consistent throughout your resume and reflect your industry and your personality. So it's something as basic as using periods at the end of the sentence. If you use it at the end of one sentence, make sure you use it at the end of all of them. And that's just one example. Try to use the same type of font throughout. It should be consistent from top to bottom. And we recommend saving your resume as a PDF or Word doc with the title of your document being your first name, last name, and the word resume. It's just easy to find, looks professional, and you can't go wrong with your first name, last name, and the word resume. And do this before you upload it to Handshake. Once your Handshake profile is ready to go, you want to also prepare what you will say during the event, because that's your first impression with the employer, right? You want that to be a really good one. An elevator pitch is your introduction and first impression to this employer. It's a good idea to script your elevator pitch out ahead of time, and you want to know what you're going to say and be comfortable with the content. Be sure to look natural though, and not read off of your script or sound like you've memorized everything. So here are 4 questions you want to answer in your elevator pitch as you're preparing the script of what you're going to practice and share with employers. First of all, you want to focus on who are you and where are you now? So this is your name, class rank, and possibly your degree if you've already graduated and you're joining us as alumni. You also want to focus your elevator pitch on where have you been? This is a brief highlight of important experiences that you've had related to the types of positions you're applying for. These could be personal experiences, volunteer experiences, jobs, internships, coursework, anything that's related to what you're looking for next. You also want to talk about what do you bring? What makes you unique? Highlight the skills and personality traits that you have that make you a great candidate. And through your experiences, what have you learned or demonstrated that will be relevant to employers? And finally, what are you looking for? Highlight the types of positions you're interested in. Be sure to mention whether you're looking for an internship, a full-time job, or part-time job. And after you've scripted your elevator pitch, practice it. Practice it out loud. Say it in front of a mirror. Share it with a friend. Come talk to us at Career Exploration and Development and share it with us, just to get opinions from other people. It's never bad to have more feedback than you need. So just come into drop-ins, talk to us during appointments, and even on the day of the career fair, we're going to offer help sessions through Blackboard. So you can easily sign in and practice your elevator pitch with members of Career Exploration and Development, as well as LaunchNet, and get some feedback on how you're doing. And another piece of advice for each of you, as you craft your elevator pitch, I always recommend end your pitch with a question, because then it forces the employer to engage with you. and always have questions prepared for them, because you're going to have 10-minute time slots to talk to employers. And while that might not sound like a lot of time, when you think about the amount of time you might have spent with an employer in an in-person event that we used to previously have at the rec center, 10 minutes is actually quite a bit of time compared to those in-person events where you might have maybe been lucky enough to get 2 minutes because you had 50 students standing in line behind you, kind of peering over your shoulder, listening into your conversation. Right now, you're getting 10 minutes of uninterrupted time with the employer, so use it wisely. Have a fabulous elevator pitch and go prepared with questions for the employer. Keep that conversation going. Here's an example that I wrote of an elevator pitch. It's just a sample, but just to give you an idea of what can you do during your time with that employer to introduce yourself effectively. So here I say, "Hi, my name is Kritika Graw, and I'm a junior at Kent State University pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Communication Studies with a minor in marketing. As someone who belongs to a generation that has grown up with social media, I have firsthand seen the effects of effective communication using social media and also the dangers of misinformation spread via social media when information is not effectively communicated with consumers. I completed an internship with the Political Action Committee this past summer and learned a great deal about how to strategically use social media for campaigning purposes. I'm currently seeking another internship opportunity that will allow me to hone my social media skills while also positively contributing to your team and company by bringing my teamwork, organizational, and communication skills. What competencies are you looking for in an ideal candidate for this internship?" So do you see how I ended this with a question? Because now it forces an employer to say something back. If I just ended my sentence with my pitch with communication skills, "Nice to meet you," they might also say, "Nice to meet you too, thanks for stopping by," and that's the end of the conversation. However, your questions can keep it going, and it can show that you're engaged, that you want to learn more, and that you took the initiative to come prepared with questions. The final step in preparing for the Career Exploration Fair is registering for the event itself on Handshake. This step is mandatory to your participation in the event. You can find the Career Exploration Fair from the Events tab on Handshake and by clicking on Career Fairs. Once there, the first thing you want to do is click on the Register button that you can see on the screen, that purplish blue button on the event page, which will then take you to a quick registration survey. It is mandatory that you register so that you have the ability to sign up to meet with employers and graduate schools and attend group sessions. Additionally, it guarantees you receive any additional correspondence and information that is sent out to the participating students. This is also the only way, really, that you're going to get the link to the Blackboard group, the Blackboard room for the day of help sessions, because those will be emailed out to students. So you want to make sure you register, because that's the only way to get that email with information about how to join those help sessions on the day off. And again, I'll show you where all of these live on Handshake in just a moment. After registering, you'll be able to view the participating employers and sign up for sessions by clicking on the Available Sessions button. You will see the list of employers participating and their openings for one-on-one and group sessions that you can then sign up for. Sessions are offered on a first-come, first-served basis, so be sure to sign up for them early in order to be able to meet with the employers who you're interested in. And from the list of available sessions, you can view the participating employers and openings they have for one-on-one and group sessions. Utilize the filters that Handshake provides to narrow down the options to employers who are hiring what you are for, as well as graduate school programs that you might be interested in. And this page is updated regularly. So if an employer or graduate school is listed, but you don't see any available sessions, one thing you can do is check back throughout the week, the days leading up to the event for more. You can also reach out to the employer directly from the Handshake page to express your interest. And I just want to mention that on the day of the event, if you see that they don't have any sessions available, that could indicate that they're completely booked at this point. However, leading up to the event, just know that many employers are still working on those schedules. So if you don't see an available group session or one-on-one session, It could simply mean that they just haven't created it yet. So be patient and keep checking back. We'll also talk about proper email etiquette in just a moment in case you're looking to reach out to employers prior to the event, and you definitely do want to reach out to employers after the event. So we're going to talk about what do you say to them and how can you make sure that your email etiquette is absolutely perfect. As you begin to sign up for sessions by clicking on the session that you're interested in attending, they will begin appearing in your sessions column on the right-hand side, as you can see on this slide. The system will not allow you to double book, but be sure that you're keeping track of all of the sessions you're signing up for as well. And you definitely don't want to be late to any session on the day of, because that's a bad first impression, right? So make sure that you're keeping track of what sessions you're signed up for, what time they start, and that you're there waiting to talk to the employer as soon as that session begins. So on Wednesday, September 23rd, the day of the fair, you will log into Handshake and navigate to the event page to participate. From here, click on the Your Sessions tab. This will allow you to see and join all of the sessions that you're registered for. You can continue to register for new sessions if available throughout the day of the fair from the Available Sessions tab as well. So just know that even on the day off, you're going to get that opportunity to sign up with employers, but you want to plan ahead for this as soon as possible. You don't want to wait till the day of the fair because chances are that a lot of the sessions will already be claimed by other students. So you don't want to wait till the day of the fair, but know that you will have the ability to do so if you decide, at the last minute that you're interested in talking to an employer and they happen to have availability. Be sure that you log into the sessions on time, that you have a neutral background behind you, and that you're in a location with minimal distractions and background noise. So that's really important. We have shared with employers, we've let them know that they need to be patient. Employers are receiving documentation that tells them how they can be kind, gentle, and patient with students during this time, during a virtual fair. So we have let employers know that there might be students who are uncomfortable with sharing their video, that maybe they don't have a background that they're comfortable sharing. So employers will be aware of that, but also know the reality of how video conversations can help you in making a more lasting impression and better connection with the employer than just audio, or if you only decide to use chat. But at the same time, do what makes you comfortable. If you don't want to turn on your video, that's completely up to you. So talking about following up with employers. Just as you would with an in-person career fair, it's important to follow up with employers and programs from the career exploration fair after the event. This could be replying to an employer email or sending a thank you note after the session. Whatever it might be, you just want to make sure that you're following proper etiquette and guidelines. Be sure to ask for contact information if it's not already shared with you during the session. You can always say something like, would it be okay for me to connect with you on LinkedIn after this? Or I'd love to follow up with you and send you a copy of my resume. May I have your email? Just remember, in an in-person event, you would have walked away with a business card. That's not necessarily possible now when you're not seeing them in person, but you can still ask for that email address. You can still ask to connect with them on LinkedIn. And it's a very good idea to be taking notes during the session so that you can write down the names and contact information of the representatives and recruiters you're speaking with. Because when you do go to say thank you to them after the event, send a thank you email, it'll be a lot harder for you if you don't remember their name or if you don't have their email address. So make sure you ask for these and write it down. It's never a problem to write things down. It shows an employer that you're taking initiative, that you're dedicated, that you want to remember things beyond just the 10-minute conversation and you're making notes. It shows a sense of responsibility. And remember to remain professional and to find the balance between not over-communicating and under-communicating with employers. For example, while it's appropriate to send a connection request on LinkedIn to an employer that you have been communicating with, you probably don't want to reply to their email, follow up with the connection request, and then send an email about the connection request in the span of 5 minutes. That's a little too much, right? So find that balance. Communicate with them and show you're dedicated, but at the same time, there is such a thing as being overly enthusiastic. So do know where to draw those lines. As you're communicating with the employers, either doing initial outreach even before you meet with them or replying follow-up, you want to be sure that you are maintaining proper email etiquette. This includes being sure that your email has a subject, a salutation, and a closing. Also double check for proper spelling, punctuation, grammar. Think of the email as part of your interview process. It is your first impression to employers. So here's an example of what you could say to an employer if you're planning to talk to them on the day of the fair, or perhaps you see them registered for the fair, but maybe you're not going to talk to them on the day of the fair, but you would like to still form a connection with them. So here you can see the email has a subject line. It starts with the name of the person you're addressing. And then it says, I'm writing to express interest in 21st Century Financial based on your registration for the Career Exploration Fair hosted by Kent State University. I'm a freshman finance major at Kent State, and while I saw that you are currently only hiring recent graduates, I would love to know more about your organization. Would you be willing to schedule a 30-minute informational interview with me so that I can learn more? I look forward to speaking with you further. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy in these times. Best, James McGill. So as you can see, this is a student who's not signing up for a one-on-one session because they've acknowledged that, okay, the employer doesn't want to talk to someone like me because I'm not a recent graduate, but I still want to talk to them at a different time because I want to learn about them. So it shows again that you're taking the initiative, that you're dedicated, that you want to know more, that you're a student who wants to learn. It says a lot about you. So again, just a good email can really help you with your career. So take the time, craft it well. And again, we're here at Career Exploration and Development to provide feedback and review your email if you really want someone to eyeball it before you send it out to the employers. So keep us in mind as a resource. So at this time, I would like to summarize the steps to success at the Career Exploration Fair that we covered today, and then open up my Handshake profile to demo some of what we discussed today. So first of all, we talked about preparing. This included updating your Handshake profile with a photo, your graduation year, and your interests, as well as being sure that your privacy settings are set to community, ensuring you have up-to-date resume on your profile, and preparing and practicing your elevator pitch. Second, we reviewed how to register for the event in Handshake, which is mandatory to participation, and how to view and sign up for employer sessions. Third, after scheduling your meetings and sessions with employers, the next step is to actually attend those sessions. A few comments for success here: wear professional clothing, at least waist up, and be sure that you have a neutral and clean background behind your camera in a place where you won't be interrupted or there any kind of distractions or anything like that. And use headphones or a headset if possible to minimize any kind of background noise. And finally, after you have attended the sessions you registered for, you want to be sure that you follow up with the recruiters you spoke with by sending them thank you notes and/or LinkedIn connections and taking any necessary steps that were outlined in meeting, such as submitting online applications or anything else that the employer might have asked of you as next steps. And I wanted to point out a few more resources that you have available to you as you prepare for the Career Exploration Fair. So we have drop-in sessions, 7 drop-in sessions throughout the week. So just make sure that you attend any of these and have someone review your resume before you upload it to Handshake. This is also a great place for you to practice your elevator pitch. And if you need any help with learning how to navigate Handshake, we would certainly be happy to help you during these drop-ins. So you can find information about drop-in sessions by going to our website, which is kent.edu/career, and you'll find a lot of information about drop-ins on the homepage itself. We have another Career Exploration Fair Prep workshop coming up on Monday, September 21st from 6 to 7:30 p.m. So if you feel like you didn't get enough information from today's session, of course, we still have the question and answer session to go. You're also welcome to attend yet another Fair Prep workshop. And then again, as I mentioned before, we do provide day of assistance through Blackboard. And this information will be provided to you once you register. So you want to make sure you register and then you will get this information directly through an email, and it'll also be available on Handshake on the day of the event. So a link to Blackboard will be available for you. So that brings us to the questions part, but before we do that, what I would like to do is very briefly bring up my Handshake profile so that I can, in a few minutes, just quickly show you what you need to click on to make sure you get registered. And let me know when you can see my Handshake profile.
Looks good.
All right. So first of all, to update to the tiny little picture of you on the top right, go ahead and click on Profile. And this is where you want to update all these different sections, your headshot, your headline, any of your experiences. We talked about interests before, which would be your job interests, the cities, the roles, even industries that you're interested in. To edit anything, you just click on the little pencil next to it. And this bar is the one that I mentioned before. Make sure it says that it's 100% complete. If it doesn't, then take the time to get it to 100%, because that's what's really going to help you on the day off. To upload your resume to the system, you want to just go to Documents and then add a new document. That's where you upload your resume. And then in terms of your settings and privacy, you click on that again, back here, and then Settings and Privacy. And then you scroll down, make sure that it is set to Community. And then finally, once you're done with that step, go to Events, go to Career Fair. And one of the first things you will see is the Career Exploration Fair. So click on that. And I'm going to go ahead and unregister myself. You're going to see this button that says Register. Go ahead and register for the event. And then you can view employer sessions. Available sessions will be on the very left, and you can scroll down and you can see whether an employer has a group session or one-on-one session. If it's a group session, click on that. If they're only offering one time, go ahead and confirm if that time works for you. If you want one-on-one sessions, you'll see there are a variety of times offered. Pick the one that fits with your schedule. Once you click on it, confirm it. And thereafter, once you've started signing up for all of these one-on-one and group sessions, the Your Sessions tab will show you what sessions you're signed up for on the day off. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. And at this point, I'd like to go ahead and open it up to you for your questions. So what questions do you have for me? And you can put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand, whatever works for you. So don't be shy. This is your opportunity to ask your questions. Okay, so what should we put under projects in Handshake? So this is where you can add any kind of projects that you might have worked on for your coursework, for any of the jobs you might have held. So it's very specific to practical work that you've done for either a job or classes. So think about, like, in one of your classes, did you have to create a presentation? If so, tell us about that project. So it's giving us more details about something you might have worked for. How do we upload a picture for projects? I don't think that's really necessary to upload a picture for projects. Allison, any thoughts on this one?
Sorry, I jumped away from you because I was just about to look. Wyatt, we will come back to that question here momentarily.
Okay. What other questions do you have? How are you all feeling with the fair coming up? Do you feel like you're ready to go? Feeling confident? Let us know in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and let us know. Yeah, Allison, go ahead.
While you're thinking, and I want to come back to that feeling, Brandon, on why you're feeling nervous, but just to answer your question, Wyatt, and for anyone else who's considering putting projects on their Handshake profile, it is not required to upload a link to a photo, but for example, let's say you're maybe an art major, some kind of design major, graphic design. We always encourage that you have an online portfolio or some type of online presence that showcases that work, and then you can link to that on your Handshake profile. So when you start to create a project, you can link to a URL. That URL could link to your portfolio or website in general, or it could just link to the specific project that you're describing, whatever makes the most sense for you. But that's a way to showcase some visual examples of your work without specifically uploading a photo to your Handshake profile. Hope that helps answer your question, Wyatt.
Thanks, Allison. And Brandon, to address feeling nervous, that's completely natural. We feel nervous when we really want something, right? When we want to do well. If you weren't feeling nervous, that would be actually more worrisome because it would mean that the fair isn't important. So if you're feeling nervous, that's okay. Just on the day off, take a deep breath and remind yourself that these are people who want to meet you. They want to get to know a student like you, and they're excited to hire some great talent. As long as you practice, you do your homework, you research the companies, you're going to do great. It's just a conversation that you're going to have with employers. So just remember that. So let's see, in terms of questions, as for the courses section, what courses should we add? So Rennie asked this question. I would say a recommendation is add any kind of upper division courses. You might not be an upper division student, upper division being junior or senior. If you are a junior or senior, try to add those upper division courses and not those entry-level psychology one-on-one type classes, but more along the lines of classes where your individuality can be seen. So electives that might make you stand out would be a great example, or courses that are really important and would teach you some necessary skills for your career field, maybe limited to just 5 to 6 courses. You don't want to list everything you've ever taken. Think of 5 to 6 of the most important classes you've taken, as well as a sprinkling of electives that show how unique you are. Because if you only focus on your career, on your major related classes, then you might end up with a lot of the same classes as your peers. So pick those important classes that are needed in your career, as well as a sprinkling of some of those electives that make you unique. And then again, 5 to 6 classes, upper division where possible. If you happen to be younger, add what you have. You might not have those upper division courses, but think about what are the most important courses you've taken so far, and those are the ones you want to add on Handshake. Hopefully that helped. All right. And then Jonathan says, how can we schedule a mock interview with services? So you can schedule an interview with Career Exploration and Development directly through KSU Advising. So if you go to kent.edu/career, you'll see a button for scheduling an appointment with our staff. You can also go directly through Handshake, through Flashline, and schedule an appointment with our office. You can also just go to the direct link, which is advising.kent.edu, and then select Career Exploration and Development as the office that you are looking to make an appointment with. And then we have some questions that we have students answer in terms of what are you looking for assistance with. One of the questions is mock interview, and that's an hour-long appointment that you have with a career advisor. we do ask you to send a resume in advance, as well as the type of position that you would like to practice for. And we pull together a lot of questions that are very specific to the job that you want to apply for. And we provide very honest feedback with you during the mock interview. So again, just do that through either our website or Flashline or directly through advising.kent.edu. Does that help, Jonathan? Would you recommend prior, or could this be the first step? Do you mean the mock interview? You can do that as soon as you want, because a mock interview is a longer process, right? It's setting you up for an interview, but at the same time, pieces and parts of the interview are very helpful to the fair itself, because when you think about the first question that employers typically ask, which is, tell me about yourself. In an interview, that is also your elevator pitch. So by practicing for a mock interview, you could also, on the side, practice for meeting with an employer. So it can definitely help you, and it can help you with things like preparing your background for the day of, making sure your audio and video work. And as Allison put in the chat here, that you can also interview and practice interviewing by using what we have on our website called Interview Stream. So this is a software that allows you to record yourself while you practice interviewing, and you can self-select some questions, and then you answer by looking into your webcam, and you record the entire thing, and then you can send that to a career advisor or any representative in our office and get feedback. And you can also send it to anyone else to get some honest feedback from people who will typically give you honest feedback and keep you accountable. So a lot of different ways to practice interviewing, whether it's directly with our office and doing a live mock interview, or using Interview Stream that you can find on our website, which is once again kent.edu/career. What are some other questions that you have? And as Allison asked Brandon, what is making you nervous, and how can we be useful in helping you address those feelings? So understanding what type of questions to ask is your big issue. And I think, Brandon, you bring up a very good point here. The questions you ask each of the employers will be different from employer to employer. But some of these questions are going to come from the research you do into what they're looking for, what type of position they're offering. So some of it is going to be very much related to their job description and related to what they're offering, right? But you also want to think about what is it that you are looking for right now? If you're looking for an internship, think about what are you looking for in an internship? And some of your questions might come from that. Maybe you want to know, do they have remote opportunities? Maybe you don't feel comfortable going out in person and working right now. So your question might stem from there. Maybe you do want to go in person. And then your question can stem from there. Maybe you're interested in learning about what type of responsibilities they're going to have you work on, and that's on your mind. It's okay to ask those as well. So I would say start with reading the job description. See what they're offering. See what questions naturally come to mind based on gaps they might have in the job description, or based on interest, something that interests you in what they have already indicated that they're offering. And thereafter, think about what's important to you. What do you want from your next job, your next internship, your next graduate program? And then make a list of 3 to 5 questions, and try to make these questions questions that you won't easily find by just researching the organization. So you don't want to ask questions like, what does your company do? Because you can easily find that out just by doing your own homework, right? So you want to make sure the questions are questions that you wouldn't just easily find the information if you just did a Google search. But it's questions that would help you learn more about the organization or the position itself, and you cannot easily find that information on the internet. It's always great to ask employers about their personal experiences as well, because you can't just Google that. Ask them what they like about the company. What what challenges have they faced? How have other interns succeeded? What's made them stand out? So these are the kinds of questions that you're not going to find those by Googling, like, you know, something about the employer and asking about personal experiences, right? You can't find that information. So those are anecdotal. So again, great experience, like great questions to ask about people's individual experiences. So a lot of there's no such thing as a bad question, but there is such a thing as a better question, and questions that you want to try to avoid because they might show that you're not as prepared, like the ones that ask, what does your company do? Or who are you looking to hire today? Because that's all on Handshake already. So as long as you do your research, just make sure that you're showing that to employers through your questions. Does that help a little bit, Brendan? Okay, good. So we have about 10 minutes to go. What's on your mind? While you have us here, ask us anything that would help you feel more confident about the day off. And we're happy to help. And at any point, if you feel like your questions have been answered, you're welcome to hop off. Just make sure you sign that Google form, that check-in form that Allison has been putting in the chat before you do so. You're welcome, Jonathan. Thank you all for attending. And again, we'll be here for another 8 minutes. So if you have other questions, feel free to stay on, ask us what's on your mind. And thank you for coming. Yes, Remy.
Hi. So I just have a quick question. In the handshake, there is the interest roles that you mentioned earlier, and I tried finding I just go through all the options that pop up, but I couldn't find something that's that is something what I'm trying to go into. So my major is international relations, and I wanted to go onto the global route instead of the political route. And something that I was interested of going into is it's called cross-cultural work, or it could be a program manager coordinator on the global level. So I don't know how to put that into Handshake.
So I would say pick an option that gets as close as possible to what you're looking for. For example, international affairs is an option. So you can always select that. And then if you want, that tagline of yours could mention the specifics that you want to do cross-cultural work. Because again, some of these keywords are so specific, right, that you might not find it as a drop-down option. So pick something that's close enough to what you're looking for. Anything that highlights international, global kind of work, and then maybe specify more in your summary, in your headline.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, really cute cat, by the way.
Thank you.
And what else? What else are you thinking of? And again, if you haven't checked in today or haven't had the opportunity to provide feedback yet, those links are available in the chat. We do appreciate and value your feedback. So let us know if this was useful to you or what we could do to improve this session, because we do want you to feel more comfortable and confident about the Career Exploration Fair coming up. So if there's anything we can do to make that more useful to you, please just put it in that survey. Thanks, Remy. Have a great weekend and good luck with the fair. Take care, Brandon. Good luck. So for the 4 of you who are still with us, Abir, Hannah, Morgan, and Sarah, do you have any questions for us? Anything that's on your mind that we can assist with? Thanks, Hannah. Have a great rest of your day and have a good weekend. And good luck with the fair. Thank you. Abir, are you still with us? Abir, can you hear us? Are you still here?